Alrighty, boys, we're back with another Bannerlord update. Woohoo! I wish I had like a little bell where I could be like, you know what I mean? But yeah, we're back with another one, kind of like SpongeBob in that like 24/7 Krusty Krab episode. All right, I'm getting off topic, but we have a new update. Not like an update that you can download, but an update from the developers where they talk about stuff. They reply to people on the forums. So I thought, why not? Let's go over it. Let's see if everyone is still losing their minds and go from there. Okay? So, without further ado, by the way, patch 1.2.4 did come out for people that play it on Steam. It is the latest beta patch. A lot of changes happened there. Plus, you can now play multiplayer on the beta patch as well. If you want to know what the changes are all about, first link down below in the description, and I'll also put it in the comment section, is my review of beta patch 1.2.4 for anyone that is interested, okay? First link down below. But all right, let's get straight into it. So first, we have a person saying, wait, I don't see anything related to the garrison fixes. And this is an issue that they are still working on. Now, I do not know what the garrison fixes are, but they are still working on it. It did not come out in patch 1.2.4. But let me just show you real quick. A lot of stuff did come in this patch, okay? So like I said before, if you want to see me go over it and all the most kind of like important points, first link down below in the description. Now, that's just like a little small like what's it called? Response. Now let's go into the bigger responses, right? So we have what's it called? Just a kind of like a general response, not really replying to anybody. We have the developer saying the beta branch is provided for early adopters that would like to support the development, as well as give modders an opportunity to see what is coming before the majority of players will default to it. Not releasing hotfixes to beta would defeat its very purpose. True. Naturally, you can also opt into the beta simply to play with new features, but you do at your own risk. If you want a more stable environment, the live branch will be the appropriate choice. Okay. So I'm guessing this is a response to... Oh, man, what is this? For the love of God. Oh, man. Just push the patch to the main version and stop releasing petty updates that break all the mods. Ay, ay, ay. All right. You ready for my first tangent that's going to make everybody mad at me? I'm ready for it. The developers, I'm sorry to say it, they work on their time scale, and the modders have to work around the developers. Now, it's good when the developers obviously give, the modders communication, which the Tales Worlds does. They have multiple threads where modders can talk directly to developers. But, like I said before, a hotfix that the developer wants to put out into the game, they can do whenever, because they are the developers of that game. I'm sorry to say it. Sorry to hurt your feelings. But they can do that. You know what I mean? It's a very simple concept. And also, like the dev stated, a beta version is literally made for hotfixing. It's made for you to test it out, to be filled with bugs, and for you to pretty much expect hotfixes to fix those bugs, for it then to move to live. It's a very normal process in a lot of games. Like, it's extremely normal. It has nothing to do with pettiness, you know what I mean? But we move on. And then obviously, like you said before, if you do not want to play in the beta, you can always play in the live, which is more stable. Again, also very true. And obviously, something I didn't even think about, but makes a lot of sense, is the whole point of releasing the beta to pretty much let modders know that, hey, these are the changes that are coming. So if you have a mod, guess what? Eventually this patch will go to live, so you will have to update your mod if it is currently on the live branch. Kind of like a heads up. That kind of makes sense too. Then we have a player asking, when should we expect the update dropped on consoles, Xbox and PlayStation? Am I saying it right? No, I'm not. I'm not saying it right. Consoles? Because you guys literally are giving me like the Webster, like, you know how like in the Webster dictionary they kind of like tell you how to spell it out, and it's just like, bro, you guys have been doing that in the comments too. Like, I'm trying, man. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. I don't know. I was not blessed with the ability to say that word. It is what it is. I had a bad roll. It is what it is. But the devs respond, once the outstanding known, I think issues. I think is what we meant to say, as well as any newly identified blockers have been resolved. Okay. This concerns stability, performance, and modding items, as well as more specific bugs or balancing efforts for both multiplayer and single player. Yes, so it looks like it's still the same. There are still blocker issues. What those are not really being told, but the devs have said before they don't really want to say what those issues are, because then players are going to make their own timetables on how long they think each issue needs to pretty much be solved, even though they're not the developers and they don't see the code in front of them. But, you know, that's pretty much why they pretty much are just giving you a general kind of like explanation of like, yeah, there's still stuff blocking it. It is unfortunate. But like I've said before, and this is something I think a lot of players who are upset that it's taking so long are not understanding. It's like, brother, it's their game to develop. The more they develop the game, the better, you know, the more players it will have, the more players it will attract. Why would they purposefully keep the patch from you? Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. Even as a company speaking, the faster you get this patch out, the more players will come back, the higher the player count will look, and the more players will eventually buy the game. So why would they keep it? You know, it just, I don't know. I feel like it's a little common sense misconception here. But, it is taking a long time. I will agree. I will agree with you guys. You know, here's my white flag. I agree. It's taking quite a long time. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's like the developers saying, ha, 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 like, you know, shaking their hands like, yes, yes, let's keep it away from them. That just doesn't make sense to me. But it is taking a long time. Let's see some of the, let's see what some people have to say about it. There's been Tailworld's response for over 3 months. We're asking for more than the same vague. They have explained why they keep it vague. It's literally so players, especially players like this person right over here who's very upset, very, you know, all caps lock upsets. They don't see the, like, if they see the issue, right? If a player sees the issue, they might not even be a developer. They might Google it. How long does this take to fix? And then you might get a generalized answer on Google, and then all of a sudden the players will start getting mad because they're going to be saying, oh, I looked up that this, or I have knowledge that this issue that you listed only takes 1 week to fix. It's been 2 months. What are you guys doing? That's pretty much why they're not, that's why they're being as vague as possible, but kind of also telling you that, hey, they still exist. The blocker issues still exist. It's literally for that reason. To kind of like, you know, make it so more people don't go off the rails, if that kind of makes sense. It's like getting blood from a stone. Their treatment of council players is disgusting, zero transparency or communication, and absolutely unacceptable in today's time. How is there zero communication? He's right here! What? Oh, God, I gotta stop reading these comments. It just doesn't make any sense. The whole transparency, it's like, dog, they can't just tell you everything that they're doing in the game. Like, you know, they're the developers, you know? They can't just like, here's our full log of exactly what's happening. They are communicating that there's still issues, you know? Like, it's, I don't know. I feel like people who make like, who say stuff like this, I want them to give me like an example of like a game or a game development company that they see in their eyes that does these things that they want Tailworlds to do. I just want to see an example of it. I don't know. If they're like, I know some people in the comments are very critical of me and how I cover this stuff. Please give me an example of a game that is fully transparent, that the devs tell you exactly blah, 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 and do not send me any roadmap with like 4 images and like a little brief description. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like full logs of exactly what's happening, because that's usually what players want from Tailworlds. But then it's like, I'm thinking in my head, like, what other game development company does that? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it would be a good or bad thing. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to get perspective. I'm trying to get perspective of the issue. So let me know. I don't know. I can't believe I'm reading this. So you think there is a stable version we can fall back to? Yeah, the live version. What do you mean? There's no stable version in this game. They're all a broken mess. Fire, G. That is a fire. Okay, so what he meant by stable is like performance-wise, bug-wise, crash fix-wise, you know? Yeah. I think this person's talking more about how how you know, the features aren't there that are supposed to be there, right? Keep on living in your parallel universe of official releases and beta versions while we test and play your broken game. My brother, I am sorry. Listen, my brother in Christ, in Allah, whatever you believe in, or if you don't believe in anything, then just my brother. I'm sorry to be the one to break the news to you, and I think the developer's about to break the news to you too. This is very common practice. It's not a parallel universe. This is the universe that we exist in right now. I'm sorry to say it, but it is what it is. Developer says, yes, live versions are generally more stable than beta versions. Yeah. Especially in the context of mods, as each update receives its own branch on Steam for players to continue their current campaign on. Nice. All right. Moving on. Do we have anything else from the developers? All right. So what else we have from players? Let's go for players real quick. Oh, look at this guy going crazy. He's about to get hate, bro. You gotta relax. So then the same guy responds, I used to be a fan. Dog, cut it out, bro. You listen, buddy. Listen, pal. You got an account on the forums. You see this right here? You see how it says log in and register for me? I've been covering this since beta and I still don't have an account. My brother, you're a fan. I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to say it. This is a little dramatic. All right, moving on. So we have a player asking, will 1.2/1.3 be the final release once finished, keeping console gamers happy, or will there be another beta regarding lack of late game content, DLC content, etc.? I'm just wondering whether serious war gamers will need to turn to modders for future content. Serious war gamers. That's a crazy way. The long-term approach was touched here. Is this something I've already covered? Yes, this is something I've covered plenty of times. And then they said pretty much 1.2 will not be the last patch or content update. Yeah, the devs have said that they are always going to continuously keep working on the game until they announce that they aren't, which isn't anytime soon. So yes, there will be a lot more betas in the future and a lot more content. Then we got some trash bug with crafted two-handed axes. I think this is to do with like one of the 1.2.4 changes where whenever you loaded a save, for some reason your crafting materials would turn into trash, and therefore like trash is like also an object in the game that's obviously not worth anything. It's trash, and it would kind of ruin a lot of people's smithing gameplay. But players are saying that there are still problems with that change, and the dev says, thanks for highlighting this. We will raise it with the relevant people. Nice, and I think that is it for now. All right. There it oh man, what is this? All right, so pretty much I'm about to go over this for anybody who wants to go over this, but let's just highlight what we learned. So there's still blocker issues, still not on PlayStation, still not on Xbox. Unfortunately, there's still issues that is blocking that transfer, and also, you know, the beta is used for beta testing, which is kind of like, you know, common sense, and hotfixes will happen there. If you do want to have a more stable, you know, playing experience, obviously you should play it on the stable version. I'll show you how to do that on Steam real quick. If you go to your Steam right over here, right, find the game. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think currently I have uninstalled it because I have no memory space on my computer currently. I'm playing Cyberpunk, boys. We're in the future! But how you would usually do it is you would go to properties, you would go to betas, and then you go right over here and you can change it from the beta, which is the current 1.2. You would change it back to 1.1.6, which is the current live version of the game. Or if you're playing specific mods, they will tell you what version of the game to play it on, and here are all the versions that are currently available. You press this, then the game uploads, upgrades or downgrades your game. And also one thing I would suggest, once you do that little upgrade or what's it called, downgrade, you verify your files as well. So usually how do you verify files? If we go to this, for example, you go to manage. No, not manage. Sorry about that. Where is it? Might still be in properties. Right over here. So once it is installed, Make sure you do this. You run through it one time, because sometimes whenever you downgrade or upgrade, what's it called? From a beta patch to a live patch, or from a live patch to a beta patch, some files go missing in that process. So just hit this button. It will go through all your game files and see if there's anything missing. So do that before you relaunch the game if you decide to change what patch you are on. Okay? But that's how you do it. Now, let's see what people have to say. And I can't wait for the comments who are just like, oh, you cover Bannerlord and you have it uninstalled. My brother, I am broke. And I'm be honest with you, every game nowadays that comes out is like 150 gigabytes. So, like, I have to pick and choose. Like, literally, I have to pick and choose. I have to uninstall, install, uninstall, install, uninstall, install. And I'm pretty sure that is a plight that a lot of players are currently facing. So, leave me alone, okay? But yeah, what's it called? What else do we have? But yeah, that's pretty much the end for the video. I'm gonna go over a couple of like, I guess what people, what players are saying, so we can go from there. This person says, "Stop embarrassing yourself with a complete lack of knowledge of basic software development practices." Okay, so what did he say? They don't compete against each other. They don't receive the same patches and don't split the community. Not that it matters, but these games are also typically known as live service games or games as a service, which Bannerlord, unless I missed the memo, is not. Okay, so there's no purpose. Wait. There's so many issues with Bannerlord that you can complain about them all day. Having two branches is not one of them. It serves no purpose. They get patched in tandem. Both patches had no prior public testing done. Huh? Brother. For the patch to become the live version, it had to have been the beta beforehand. And the betas get the hotfixes and get tested. So it doesn't make sense to say both patches had no prior testing, because the current live patch was a beta patch beforehand. You know what I mean? It didn't just pop out of nowhere. It's kind of like a, you know. Alright, it is what it is. And very frequent new things, the live version had never appeared on the beta version prior, so they're both beta branches. Yeah, I guess. Yes, sure. Doesn't have an actual defensible argument, resorts to personal my brother, he did not personally attack you. This is insanity. All I see is people being completely ignorant and disrespectful. You know how it is. That is the forums. Oh my goodness. My brother let it go. Literally, I remember there was this one patch like a year and a half ago where they literally redesigned, I don't know if it was the pine cones, but they redesigned like some little icon, right? It was just a minor change in one of the hotfixes. And ever since then, this has become the talking point of the forums, where they're just like, oh, it shows potential. We didn't get this and that, but we got a redesigned pine cone or redesigned whatever. I don't think it was a pine cone, but it was something of that nature. My brother. How do you wake up every day and you're just like, you know what, man? I am just going to go log in to the forum of the game that I hate to type in the same things over and over again, because I don't even know because of what. My brother, please, just a little bit of self-reflect. Just a little. I don't know. Listen, maybe I'm going a little bit too hard, but okay. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't want to read all this because I don't think I'm going to agree. Oh man. Oh my god, did they make a statement when the EU was released recommending that people just wait till the full release because, well, it was incomplete and still in development, and now we're in the full release and it's still incomplete and still in active development? The statement was a lot more bigger than that. he's talking about the EA statement, like the early access statement, where they pretty much listed what's in the game, what's not in the game. That stuff has been cut, and more stuff will be cut, but more stuff will be introduced that has not been previously stated. And pretty much beware before you buy. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna make a pretty hard statement right now too. The game is finished. I'm sorry to say, it might not be finished into other people's perspective, but like in terms of when early access started until when it was released, a lot of stuff was added, and most importantly, the game became a lot more playable. Stability wise, performance wise, being a very huge thing that was changed. Anybody that played the game when it first came out knows it was extremely bad in the performance in what's called the performance department. But it's pretty much done. But at the same time, it's not done because they're still adding stuff to it. But you can play the game. You can go through the game and you can do everything in the game. Yes, more stuff should be added, but it's not like a broken mess as people like to paint it as. You can start a game and you can play the game all the way through. You know, you can do all the various different things that the game offers, and you can at the end even win the game by pretty much controlling everything. And even after that, you can kind of let go of your control and try to even take it back. So the game, it works and it's pretty done. It's just it's still in development because a lot more is still being done to it currently. You know. But, let me stop glazing. Let me stop glazing. I know. I'm glazing too hard, my boy. I'm glazing too hard. I'm sorry. But, yeah, that's going to do it for me, and I'll see you in the next one.